All right, you guys, welcome to Real Issues Podcast. I am your host, Martel Llewellyn, and today our special guest is Mateo Knight.
Sir.
Sir, how you doing today? You all right?
Yeah, I'm doing,
you good?
Doing well, yes sir.
All right, so let's just hop right into it. So for the people that don't know you, Mateo, who is Mateo Knight?
Yeah, man. So, my name's Mateo Knight, like you just said. I'm born and raised in South Florida, so I've been down here my whole life. I went to Western High School. I went to school with Martel here. We were just talking right before the podcast about how time was so crazy back then. We wasted so much time back then, but that's for another story. I really look back at those times though to really make the man who I am now.
Absolutely.
So I guess who I am in this moment is not necessarily who I'll be tomorrow or who I was in the past, you know. So who I am now is just I'm a personal trainer, I'm a movement coach. I'd rather actually be referred to as a movement coach than a personal trainer.
A movement coach, gotcha.
Yeah, because I think it's a lot more than training, is a lot more than just physical movement, mental movement, and just movement is growth, you know, so growing in many aspects and continuously moving throughout life and through certain situations you may go through.
Yes, sir. So now, like, for like a brief, study on you, what was your childhood like?
Yeah, so back when I was a kid, I played sports like my whole life. That was me, you know. So I guess that's kind of how I got into training a bit, how I just got into the discipline and learning how to be a part of a team and those things from a real young, early age. So I would say that really was my foundation. Like that was my world, really, like just playing sports, football, basketball, running track, and then lacrosse. When I got to high school, that's when I started playing lacrosse. I just loved being athletic and doing athletic activities, you know. So
yeah. Now, what did you want to be when you grew up? Because did that change from how it is now? Like, now, did you always want to be a movement coach, or did you want to be something else like when you were younger?
Yeah, no, that definitely changed, bro. Like, to be honest, when I was younger, I wanted to play professional sports. That was
everyone's dream back there, you know?
Yeah, nah, that was my dream until probably maybe 10th or 11th grade when I really realized I was like, all right, I haven't been putting in the time the way I need to get to the level that I would like to get to, you know. So that's when I was kind of in like limbo for the last 2 or 3 years of my high school stint, you feel me? And then it was like, so from that point, I was like, okay, let me just do something with athletics. Physical therapy was my main idea of just leaving high school, but I actually started going to college and went to USF. Started as an engineer. That's just, you know, to fulfill what my family thought about me.
Yeah.
But everybody would think about me like, oh, that was about the money. I can make 150 bands a year, possibly, you know, being an engineer, but guaranteed 100,000 in 2 or 3 years after graduating, you know. So I'm like, okay.
So that was more or less your plan B.
Yeah, no, that
or
was
less your safety blanket, you know.
Right.
And to please the parents.
Right. I switched that after the first semester.
Wow.
It was a different experience when I was just around all these people that all wanted to be engineers, and I was like, okay, this is not me. This is not what I want to do. I don't want to be in front of a computer all day. Because we started learning about what do engineers do. That was like a whole class. What is engineering? You know, that was my first semester. So I was like, this is what it's about. That's not what I'm really about. I'd rather be moving, doing something athletic type of thing. So let me go try and work for a sports physical therapy. Personal training, but that was like in the back of my head. I wasn't in shape at the time like that, you know, so I was really just thinking about physical therapy. That would be dope. I'd still become a doctor technically. It would still fulfill the requirements of like my family and like the standard society holds on me, but I would also still be able to do something I liked. So that's really what I was thinking.
Yeah, absolutely.
My first year.
All right, so for the people who don't know you, what do you currently do? And you can also plug like your job or like your personal training, like anything that you do. Go ahead, like. So let the people know what exactly do you do?
Yeah, so I'm a movement coach, like I said. So I go to people's houses, I train them. I meet people at the parks, I train them. Currently, I meet people at gyms and train them. I also do group classes out there in BFT in Fort Lauderdale. It's called Body Fit Training. Definitely check it out if you haven't been out there. It's a dope facility. Real functional training, really well programmed, and that's the type of things that I really strive for, is just to have a good environment, good energy, good community, and like a good good programming. Of course, actual like training has to be elite, top quality, you know. So that's why I'm out there right now, split my time pretty much between my independent clients and doing the group classes. I learned a lot out there. Yeah, and that's really what I'm doing right now. I post on Instagram, you know, so I guess like I'm an influencer in a sense.
Yeah, man, bro, plug it for them.
You know, Mateo and I lifts, you know, the vibes. It's all influential, motivational. It's all educational, and you know, it's all about mental and physical growth. So go ahead and check me out if you haven't followed me yet. That's really what I'm about. You know, just striving for growth in all aspects of life and trying to become the best version of myself.
Absolutely.
And in a sense, reflect that onto my clients. You know, because that's who I am. It's like how you said in one of your previous podcasts, like who you are is like, or who you're around is who you're gonna be, you know, and like what you're around is what you're gonna be. So I want to be that positive influence to people, so that, and have that confidence for people, so that they can have that confidence in, you know, that type of thing.
Got you. All right. So when did you start working out and why? Like, what started all this?
Sheesh. Yeah, so that's a story, bro. Because honestly, like I was in college, like I was saying, like I was still an engineering student my first semester, right? But again, I realized I didn't really like it, whatever. So I'm over here just partying, like living the full college experience, my first semester, because I'm like, I've never been outside the house. This is my first time moving out. You know, like a lot of college kids that leave high school, go to college. This is what I was on. So I was just drinking, partying, you know, messing with females every week. You know, like I was just it was real toxic environment. You know, for your mental and physical health. So in both aspects, I was, you know, hurting myself. So I got into the worst shape I've ever been. Like I said, I played sports my whole life, so I was always like at least in decent shape. Like I ain't have like an 8-pack or a 6-pack or nothing crazy. I wasn't even shredded. I honestly never could see my abs like that until that changed. That first semester, I realized after that whole semester, it became spring, and these girls were coming to stay with me and my roommate for Gasparilla, right, which is an event in Tampa, like a big parade, right, and so I realized that, and I was like, okay, I gotta get in a little good shape for these girls. At least like I got a month.
Yeah.
So January 1st, start taking pictures, selfies every day. I'm trying to get into the best shape I can, at least in this month, just for the end of the month. I got addicted, you know. I was taking pictures every single day, so I would look at them. And like you can see really no results, you know. But like if I look a week behind, I see that little difference. So whatever. That's how I originally got into it. And I was like, I got addicted. And I was like, all right, 1 month passed. I was like, okay, let me see what I can do for spring break. Another physical or outside motivation, you know what I'm saying? Where it was like, it wasn't internal yet. But I was like, all right, let me see what I can do for spring break. Like I did kind of decent. All right, so I started going hard for spring break, which was in March, early March. So I'm like, okay, my birthday is the end of March. So I'm like, then it kept going like that. I kept pushing like little, and I was like, let me see what I can do by summer. So it kept going like that, where I was just pushing for little like outside motivation or outside goals, you know, outside of myself, until the point where it was like, I would say like 7, 8, 9 months in, like around, it was like after 4th of July, I was still like, I was feeling better about myself and that type of thing. But after that, it got towards Thanksgiving break when I'm gonna come home. I probably hadn't been home that whole year, maybe in March around my birthday. But when I got till Thanksgiving break, I knew I was coming home, and I was looking at myself. I was like, damn, I've been getting right. Like my family's about to be surprised.
Yeah,
like,
shredded, huh?
This is about to be like my family's gonna notice.
A
now.
whole transformation, yeah.
Yeah, because like before I came back in March, it was only 2 months in. Like they could be like, oh, you're looking a little good. Like you're looking better than last time we saw you, at least, you know.
Yeah.
But now that Thanksgiving, they were like, yo, like you look good. Like, like you keep working out. Like you're doing good. I'm like, that's when I really realized. I was like, okay, I could really do something with this. I love this. Like, yeah. And I mean, I would say C.T. Fletcher was a huge influence into my life, and Kai Green.
He's one of the GOATs, yeah.
Both of them, bro. Like, I would watch their videos, their motivational videos. 5 a.m. in the morning, I would wake up. This is how, like, it didn't start like that, you know, but after 3 months in or whatever, and I started loving the gym, I'm like, okay, I was play these motivational videos to make me want to go to the gym early. And I'll be listening to it while I'm brushing my teeth, getting up. Then I'll run to the gym, get to the gym, do my lift, come back home, you know, shower, meditate. And that's when my whole life started changing, because I started incorporating meditation into my life, prayer into my life, reading, you feel me, reading the Bible, reading devotional into my life, reading actual like nonfiction books, like other like motivational or entrepreneur books, whatever it may be, financial books, you know, and that really set the stage for who I were to become, you know.
So for the people who lack motivation, because like I feel like people make working out a lot harder than it really needs to be.
Yeah.
But for the people who lack motivation, they don't know where to start. What's your advice to them?
Yeah, I would say, and you know, it sounds maybe cliche because you'll hear you don't need motivation, you need discipline, right? But it's facts, bro. Because it's like, all right, you don't need to be like, I was disciplined in, for example, for me, I was disciplined in the sense that I knew I was gonna go to the gym every day for this external motivation. If you don't have that external motivation, why are you gonna have the discipline, right? So the motivation does play a little factor, but at first at least. But once you don't have, or either you create that external factor, that external motivation, right? Whether you can make it up, be like, okay, June 1st, I want to be here and whatever. Now you got a goal that you really want to set, and like, you know, you got to commit to the goal. But either you create that, or you have the internal motivation. You actually self-reflect. You do some meditation, and you think about, okay, am I the best version of myself at this point?
Yep.
And how far am I from that? Actually, that's even a bad question. How far am I from that? It's, you know, Tony Robbins said, ask better questions, get better answers. So, like, the way you speak to yourself is mad important, you know? So,
the words matter, man.
Right. So, not even saying, how do I get, or how far am I? It's like, how do I get a little better than I am right now?
But that's the thing. It's like people don't understand because, you know, there's all like these like TikTok trends where like, and not to bash women, but like women, they'll be 300 plus pounds. And then other women will lie to them and say, oh, no, girl, you know, don't worry, no, you look good, da-da-da-da. Don't get me wrong, man. Everyone should be comfortable in their own skin. But it's not about impressing other people. It's about your health before anything else. Because, like they say, health is wealth. And if you're 300 pounds, you know what I mean? You're going to have, high blood pressure. You're going to have obesity. You know, you're going to have diabetes. You're not going to be the best version of yourself. So to be honest, like I know people need motivation, but the motivation is to do it for yourself. Right. You know what I mean? Because your family members, they're counting on you. You know, like your job, they're counting on you. And just for yourself, you should have enough discipline within yourself to say, you know what, let me put down this Chick-fil-A. Let me actually, and people think that you have to do, you know, 5 miles. You don't have to do 5 miles, but at least start somewhere, you know?
Yeah, 100%. And you brought up a good point with that. Definitely, you just want to take that first step, bro, because like that's the most important. You take that first step. I do want to go back to what you were saying about the woman and like the woman empowerment and everything about being unhealthy or whatever, right? Because I mean, if you're obese, you're likely unhealthy, likely, and this is by a metric that was created by some scientists, right? Which is the BMI.
And that goes for men and women. I'm not just singling out women, but you know what I mean. But men don't lie to each other. Men will say, no, you know what, you're fat as hell.
Yeah, that's facts.
You know, you're out of shape.
That's facts. And not to say that that's the right way to go about it either, right? It could be, but it could be. You know, I'm not the one to say, but yeah. It's more like either way, that empowerment of that unhealthy culture, right, is like, it's not healthy for them mentally as well.
Yep.
And it's like, all right, the way I see it, which really, again, changed my perspective again, these was like big leaps in my whole journey to where I took big steps, you know. And this was another one where I thought, how can I be the best version how can I be the best son, for example, or how can I be the best brother, or how can I be the best friend to somebody if I'm not the best version of myself?
Yeah.
So then I was like, okay, I need to become the best version of myself so I can do that. Now, what is limiting me from becoming the best version of myself? Whatever it was, right? It was like, okay, now I'm going to eliminate those things, whether it's people, addictions, outside influences, and other sorts, your music, like all these things. It's like, if these are limiting me from becoming the best version of myself, then I'm taking away from my family. So like, it's like selfish to become the best version of yourself, but it's for an unselfish reason because you want to give more to other people. You know, it's not even just for yourself to be great. It's like, I want to be great so that my family can be great too, so my friends can be great too, so they see what's in me and they can become inspired and be even greater than me. I don't mind that. Like, I would love that, you know? That's the goal, really. So that was a big change in how I looked at things. And if you know, women in general, or people in general, but specifically women, because we brought up the topic, who would look at themselves and be like, okay, am I being the best version of myself? Am I being who I want to be for myself and for my family? Am I being the best version of myself for the future husband that I want, right? Or in the same vice versa for a man. It's like, am I being the best version of myself for my future wife?
Mm-hmm.
If you're not, you know, you gotta look. Don't be mad when you get with this woman that does you X, Y, and Z. You know, it's like, because you knew back then you could have prepared yourself and set yourself up to get with a top quality woman that you approve of.
People just make life hard because there's there's a lot of TikTok trends where it's like, oh, well, I lost 50 pounds after the breakup. Why you didn't do it then?
Yeah.
Why do you have to go through something traumatic to realize, you know what, this might not be the best situation for me? You know? But a lot of people, they want instant gratification without putting in the work. And whether the work is, walking a mile, running a mile, doing 10 push-ups, whatever the case may be, going to school, taking care of yourself, taking care of your kids, whatever the case may be, is people want instant gratification and no work. But what are some tips for people that are just starting to work out?
Mm-hmm. Hey, look at yourself. Self-reflect. Like, that's number one for me, and that's number one I believe should be for everybody, is self-reflect. Like, look at yourself, write some things down, like, just take it to the basics. It doesn't have to be nothing complicated, nothing crazy. Take it to the basics. Make a T-chart like you learn in school. Okay, what are the benefits of or like you can put, what are the things I'm doing that are beneficial to my life, and what are the things that are detrimental to my life right now? You make that T-chart. This is just an example. You could do a million things, but it's like you make that T-chart and you follow the structure, and you put whatever you think is on either side, and you just knock them off one by one.
Mm-hmm.
Detrimental, and then add another beneficial. You just tip the balance that way, so that you can become, again, the best version of yourself, physically, mentally. So if that's, let's say, because I know people are gonna want the physical. All right, what workout do I do next, right? It's like, or how do I start really, right? As to work out. Let's say for me, I would say, okay, go do something uncomfortable. You hate to run, go start walking. Start jogging. You hate to walk, you could definitely go do that. you know what I'm saying? You don't like to squat, just start doing squat. You squat every day to get on the toilet. It's like, okay, you're gonna have to learn how to squat and do it the right way.
Mm-hmm.
You don't, whatever it may be. You don't like to drink water, so start drinking water. It's like, it's just look at yourself and be like, okay, why don't I like drinking water? I don't like how it tastes. Bro, you sound childish. You sound like a 3-year-old, bro.
Because guess what? During the hurricane, they want to fight me for water. You know what I mean? So
right.
When did you guys start drinking all this water?
Right.
Because during the hurricane, all of a sudden, all right, everyone drinks water. You know?
Yeah, man. And I think that's, I think that's the start, bro. You just look at yourself, be like, all right, what are the qualities I want to change, and how do I start? If you need help to start, you see a mentor. That's like, again, what we were talking about a little bit before camera. It was like, mentors are so important. You need somewhere, and that's where the value of a personal trainer, like a good personal trainer comes in, or like a good financial advisor comes in, or a good business coach comes in. Like, these are like very important things, because you're gonna get put on game that you would have figured out maybe after 20 years, maybe 10 years, maybe 5, who knows? But it's like one of my boys at Big Crypto, shout out Big Crypto. They do this. One of my boys, John, he was putting me on, and he was like, look, either you're going to pay with time or money, or both, right? For whatever skill you want to learn. So that's what he was trying to tell me about crypto. Is like, you can pay with time and learn to figure out everything you want yourself, or you can pay with the money and figure it out a lot faster, shorten the learning curve. Or you can pay with both and do it, an experiment. Either way, I'm not going to tell you which way to do it, but just know that if that's how it's going to work, that's how it's really going to work. So figure out if you're willing to pay for a personal trainer, that's because you want to invest in yourself, or you're going to invest that time in yourself to go learn how to do the proper form for all these exercises. Or, it could be a 30-year process for you. And if you're okay with that, you're okay with that. But don't lie to yourself and be like, yeah, I'm going to get here in 2 or 3 years and put in half the work. Not even. Barely looking up YouTube videos. Like, if you're not even looking up YouTube videos on how to work out, like the basics, bro.
Yeah, like the basics.
Come on, like, just at least look it up, bro. You watch 4 hours on Netflix, 3 hours on Netflix, but you can't look up, okay, how do I do a proper squat? Watch 3 or 4 videos, that's less than 30 minutes probably.
Mm-hmm. But that's the thing, because everybody's on their phone. I don't care what anyone says, nobody's too busy, because guess what, you're on your phone at work, people are always on their phone. But what do you think that separates you from other movement coaches?
Yeah, it's definitely my holistic approach to everything. You know, I'm looking at mind, body, spirit. What's really good with you, and you know, I don't take the same approach to everyone because it's not a one size fit all. You know, but I'm analyzing that and evaluating that over our time period together, and the goal is for us to be a long-term client trainer relationship. Right, and then eventually become friends. You know,
There's some scammers out there.
Yeah, I don't want to have you as a client for 3 months, really. 6 months, that's cool. I can help you get to your goal. I can help you get to whatever goal, you know, in whatever time frame. But I'm saying, like, I would rather have you for 5 years. Like, you got the trust in me to become my client for 5-10 years, and I'm really showing you I really care about you. And I'm able to put you on things that are going to help you not just physically but mentally and spiritually, and vice versa. You know, you might be able to put me on certain things that in those same aspects. But that's that relationship. It's that balance that I want to create with my clients. You know, this becomes a friendship. It's like you're just investing into me for my services, but I'm investing a lot of time and effort into you to make sure that you're good. Like, make sure you're on top of your fitness. You're on top of your family, like your family relationship, your friend relationship, your social relationships. Like, if those aren't well, like I'll help you get them well. And again, everyone is at a different pace. It's not like right off the bat I'm like, yo, like how are you with your mom? Like, is your mom, you know, like you have a good relationship, like, but eventually, you know, we build up to that where we can get to where, all right, bro, like we might be dealing with certain things from our past, but let's take these steps forward. So that's just one aspect. Honestly, when it comes to now the training aspect of the actual physical training, it's like I try to be like Bruce Lee, bro. Like, I just try to be like water and just absorb everything, all the knowledge I get, and decipher it as my own, and then apply it to what I know. So what I'll do is, I started with bodybuilding. That's how I really got into training. Just trying to get as big as possible, really. Pushing weights, watching all these guys, Lucky Libra, like I said, CT Fletcher, Sky Green, these guys, right? From there, I was like, all right, I got hurt, right? I tore my labrum. I'm in the process of recovering it now, but that's been like a 2 or 3 year process at this point. But prayers to God, it'll be better soon, you know. But it's what I'm meant to say from all that is that from there I realized, all right, I need to become more mobile. Like, I realized what I was lacking. Like, everything happens for a reason, you know, right? So it's like I got hurt. Okay, it was for a reason. I needed to learn how to become more mobile. So I started learning mobility, corrective exercise. Started working with physical therapists. I was like that, so I could learn more how to heal from injury type of thing. And then now at this point, I study martial artists. I study how athletes from every sport, every discipline move. So that's why I call myself a movement coach, and I don't think there's too many out there at the moment. I mean, there's definitely people out there doing movement, but it's like most people are just training.
Yeah.
But training for what? If you're not training for a sport, you know, you're just training to be big. I mean, that could be cool. That could be cool. Do your thing, but that's not the goal is to be functional, right? You want to be mobile. You don't want to get hurt.
Have that mobility.
Yeah, bro. So that's really what separates me in that aspect of movement. So I'll take movements from, like I said, martial artists, ice skaters, from basketball players, and I can incorporate all of those because it's really just jumping or lunging or squatting or plyometrics, right? Just from side to side, hop skips. It's like, bro, you're doing all these things that are real life. If you see a snake on the ground, you're gonna hop to the side, right? That's functional. You gotta know how to do that, or you're gonna trip. And then it's gonna be like, okay, you just fell for no reason, or whatever runs that you can't defend yourself from a dog. Like, if it came to it, you couldn't defend yourself from a dog because you can't move fast enough, you're not agile enough, or whatever. I mean, we in Florida, you can't move from an alligator because you're gonna trip over yourself. You don't got the endurance. Like, this is the real function of what I'm doing. You know, I want you to be able to hang from a pull-up bar 60 seconds, 2 minutes, and just hold, hang, like, have strong grip, have strong feet, barefoot training, real, like I said, holistic. I'm looking at it as natural as possible. We don't need all these outside things to train them. The gyms are great.
People are spoiled in the gym, man.
Spoiled, man.
Spoiled in the gym. You know? But what do you think about the fitness industry today? And what would you change about the fitness industry?
I would say what I don't like. I mean, I don't like the vainness of it, you know? I don't like the vainness of it, bro. Because it's just like a lot of people, especially down here in South Florida, a lot of people just want to look good for whatever reasons it may be. It might bring money, it might bring girls, women. And it's like, or it might just be to boost your own ego and be walking around feeling like you really, really like that when it's not. Nobody really cares.
Yeah.
You feel me? It's like if that's what you're doing, it's like that's the only thing. And I've done it before too, so I'm not gonna act like I was innocent of it.
All men have,
You know, it's like when I first started working out, I told you that was the main reason I was working out, to get these girls. So it's like that's why I wouldn't even say I would want to change it, because that's just part of the development of, like, you know, your people's mentals and things like that. But what I would change about it is that everyone was moved towards movement a little bit more, and approach movement a little bit differently. Again, as function, and I think it's going that way. The trend is going to catch up. People are going to see in like 10 years, bro. People are going to be on this movement, martial arts, all that, and it's getting a little trendy now. But watch how it picks up steam. People are going to want to do this animal flow. They're going to want to do mobility, stretching, yoga, and you've seen it pick up over the past 10, 20 years. But it's like, so I can't say I would want to change it, but I'm more of an observer. I'm like, now at this point, I'm just watching it. I'm like, I'm in it, but at the same time, and I'm just doing my thing, but at the same time, I'm on the outside just looking in and being like, it's developing, it's coming along, you know, and I'm not even the one to say that where I want it to be is the right place, you know. that's why I just want to watch from the outside. It's like people watch the NBA. Is the NBA better in the 80s and the 90s or now? And we can go into the rules and we can go into all this stuff and debate, but it's like, it's just different.
It's a completely different game now.
It's just different. So I just like to watch it as an observer in that sense.
Gotcha. All right. And in terms of fitness brands, what fitness brands would you like to collab with? Like, I see that you got the Emor on.
Yeah.
You want to shout him out?
Shout out.
I'm trying to get him on the pod. Emor.
Shout out my boy. He just got his first 2 receiving touchdowns last week. He did. So big shout out Elijah Moore. We both went to high school with him. I played football with him. So shout out, brother. You know what time it is. Yeah, bro. So I'm always trying to support my boys' brands, and like that's really what it's about. My boy, shameless plug right here. My boy Jordeezy. He's the one. He's with the sneakers. He's a shoe plug in South Florida. If you're about that. But so those are the brands I want to collab with. You know what I'm saying? My boys, like really, my brand, Nike Lives Training. You know, Nike at the most. Or if I were to ever take any type of collab or anything, it would just be Nike, because my shoes Nike, my pants Nike. I'll be rocking Nike. But other than that, I'm rocking Emor. Under that, I'm rocking my Built Different. I'm always rocking my brand and supporting somebody that I rock with. You know, I'm not trying to downgrade the other brands or anything like that.
Nah, but they already made their millions.
Boom. That's it.
They already made their millions. You know.
Yeah, that's it.
You know.
Bro. That's it.
And plus, you know, like, you know, we went to school with him. You know, and to see maybe 10 kids come out of Broward County and go to the league, that's a big accomplishment. You know what I mean? So, you know, big ups to him. Now, when you're gonna like approach a girl in the gym, do you think men should do that? Because I know that you go to some of these gyms and you be looking around, you're like, man, some of these girls are. So, what are your advice for dudes who are trying to do that? Because I've heard of some awful stories where guys go up to girls and they're saying the most stupidest stuff, or they don't know what to say. You know what I mean? Because they might never see that girl again.
Right.
And you know, you're not trying to be rude or disrespectful, but you kind of just want to say hello, but you don't know what to say.
Yeah, so I mean, that's a really good question. I think it could apply outside of the gym and inside the gym. The way I'm going to answer it, because it's like how you're going to approach women in general, you know. And for me, I would just say naturally, you know, not trying to go out of your way, like organically. You want it organic. You don't want to go out. If you think, all right, I'm gonna go out of my way to go hit that machine that I had no plans on doing, you know, and it's working a muscle I don't even want to work right now, just so I can go get in front of her and maybe you catch eye contact, whatever. You're doing the most, my boy. You gotta chill. And it's like, again, I'm not gonna lie, I've been there. I used to do that again when I was real vain with this fitness, you know. But it's like now, the way I'm looking at things is like, bro, I don't gotta force nothing. It's like, you want to go meet some girls, bro? Go to yoga. Like, go to yoga classes. They got yoga joint. Like, you're really gonna meet a lot of women, but you're gonna be in an environment full of women. After class, you'll be talking. You'll be all zen. Like, they'll be open to talking to you. Do you want to do something like that, organic, where you go, or you want to meet girls? Go to a salsa class. Like, go meet some, like, for real. Like, go to the bookstore. Girls always at the bookstore. But don't be at the gym, bro, when they're really trying to grind. Like,
That's what he sets up.
Let them be. But at the same time, it's like if you see a girl out there for attention, she's following you around the gym and all that, shoot your shot, do what you gotta do,
Mm-hmm.
you know. But it's just if it seems organic, at least to you in your eyes, do it.
Now, what are some mistakes that you see people actually make in the gym? Because I see like a lot of people that they're just starting like to work out and they really have no base, so they're out here, trying to curl 50 pounds because they think, okay, well, if I add more weight, technically your body should get bigger. But you know what I mean? But to me personally, like I feel like if you kind of lower the weight and just start repping the hell out of it and build your base over time, then you can make your way up to the 50. Because say you're curling 50 pounds, but you're not actually curling it. You're just, throwing your back out, throwing your shoulders out. So what are some mistakes that you see people make in the gym?
Yeah, bro. I mean, the biggest mistake I would say is building their foundation the wrong way, or building it on a shaky foundation. Like, you know the story in the Bible, one man built a house on sand, one man built the house, or like the three little pigs, one built the house of straw, one built the house of brick, one built the house of whatever, mortar, whatever else it was, But it's like, you just want a strong foundation from the beginning, for example, what I had to do was go back and rebuild my foundation. That's what I'm doing right now. Even after I already got to a decent size and I was already muscular and had lost fat, and it's like, I was looking good in my eyes. I was looking good in other people's eyes, but it's like, my foundation was crap. So when it shook up a little bit, I got this shoulder injury, down 30 pounds of muscle.
Wow.
Just you know what I'm saying, just rebuilding now. And it's like, I just don't want nobody to have to go through that. If you have to learn your lesson, you're gonna have to, because that is what it is. But I would say build your foundation from the beginning. Learn basic movements, squats, lunge. There's 7 movements, right? That I would incorporate into like training sessions. Let's say I see someone 2 times a week. I'm doing full body with them, like, because that's not enough time for me to really give them what I need to give them for isolating like back and biceps. You know what I'm saying? So 7 movements. You got push, like a push-up bench press, right? You push. You got pull different directions, right? That's the second movement. Squat. That's your third movement. You know what a squat is. You're sitting down, getting back up. Hinge, right? That's our deadlift. RDL, right? Twist. That's 5. That's Russian twist. You're doing cable chops, whatever you're doing. Again, you're working obliques. You're working now this sling system that we can get into. But it's the sling system that connects from your bottom of your left foot all the way to the top of your right shoulder from on the back. That's muscles so that's how you can generate so much power throwing a baseball, for example, throwing a football. It's because these muscles are firing at the right. If you're effective, you're firing at the right time. That's how you can become elite in these movements. But that's 5. You got carry. That's 6. That's like dead carries or armor's walks or whatever you say. And the last one is lunge. All right. So and then that's a lunge, and then you can play with direction, front, back, side, whatever. But those are the 7 movements I would suggest people to start at and master those 7 and then build slowly. Okay, now that was a little bit easy, and I always recommend going high reps at first, low weight, especially at first. 50 squats. Do sets of 30. Whatever you can do. Like if you can do 50 straight, knock out 50 straight with good form. Bench press, do the bar, 50 reps, good form. Like lightweight, of course, but it's like now you're just teaching your muscles to again fire at the same time, how to keep that form, keep your core stabilized while moving your extremities, right? Like, 'cause that's so important, right? Being able to again build that mind muscle connection so that when you're working out, you're not thinking about dinner later while you're bench pressing or under 300 pounds. Like, you can still get the weight up. Don't get me wrong. You can still get the weight up. You could be thinking about your girl, whatever. You could be doing that. But it's like get the most out of your workouts, you want to be intentional, like real intentional. So I'll say I'm really meditating when I exercise a lot of times, and it's like a form of meditation because I'm really in there breathing for real, like intentional breaths, and I'm focusing on whatever muscle I'm working at that time. It's like if it's my biceps, I'm really thinking of the anatomy of my biceps just coming closer together, like every rep, and I'm squeezing the life out of it. And let's say my left arm's falling behind, right, which it is most of the time. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna focus only on the left. I'll do isolated one at a time. right, or whatever. So that's really what I would say.
Now, how important is stretching? Because I feel like people, you know, like we sit like in a car all day like this, we're on our phones like this, and then we're on a desk like this, and I feel like people don't really take stretching seriously.
Yeah, bro. I mean, it's crazy because there's controversy around stretching a lot too. So like, even if the average person doesn't know whether there should be stretching or there shouldn't be, most people generally know that stretching is probably better than not stretching, and that's because of just moving, right? You just want to move, bro. Like that's the goal, like move. So stretching, being real flexible but not mobile, and there's the difference between the two is flexibility is really like the length of your muscles, like how your muscles can lengthen and contract, right? While mobility is the movement of your joints, right? How well they're able to move in its socket or move in its own parameters, you know. So it's like if you can be flexible but not mobile, you're not going to be strong. And if you can be mobile but not flexible, you're not going to be strong. It's like you need all three components. You need the strength, the mobility, and the flexibility, and then on top of that, the stability, which, you know, it comes with the other three, but those all work hand in hand to make yourself as healthy as you possibly can be. So when it comes to stretching, bro, there's like I said, controversy. I would recommend yoga the most out of any type of stretching because, and not just any like regular yoga where you're just holding a position 20 seconds, whatever. You want to hold stretches long time, like long periods of time. You want to teach your muscle that it's healthy. It can be healthy in this lengthened position, right? If you only stretch 10 seconds, touch your toes, or 30 seconds, let's say, touch your toes, you must have forgotten. It's like shortened the whole day. If 99% of the day is shortened and for 1% it's lengthened, your body's going to be like, all right, well, I don't really need to worry about being lengthened because that barely happened. You know what I'm saying? So you want to teach your muscle, okay, just training your muscle. You need to be strong and stable at a lengthened position and at a shortened position and in all these weird positions that is real life that you can't really plan for. Like everything. Just you want to be strong in everything, every movement position. So that's really like, so when it comes to stretching, you, like I said, just holding more, at least more than a minute for everything.
Training is very important, but the thing is that there's a lot of people that overlook dieting. And I feel like there's a lot of people that I feel like you should find out what works for you. You know, like some people, maybe they shouldn't eat dairy, maybe that they should eat less carbs. So how can people kind of figure out what exactly they can eat?
Yeah, bro. I mean, it's a big experiment with yourself, exercise and nutrition. It's a big experiment. You gotta test, evaluate, retest. Test, evaluate, retest. Yeah, my boy over at GoFit taught me that, Mr. Professor Gaines, and because he's the one who does my therapy. And he was putting me on. He's like, that's all we're gonna keep doing is test, evaluate the results, and then retest. And it's an experiment. You know what I'm saying? So same with nutrition, bro. It's like, all right, let's say. So at first, I've not experimented with a lot of things. At first, I cut out carbs. At the time in college, I was living with a vegan, so I would always have vegan food. You know, and like often, like when I first started, like at first I wasn't eating the vegan food, but like when I started working out, I was like, let me try this. I just want because I want to cut out carbs. Cut out carbs. The body started reacting well. I was like, okay, do it. Then I was like, all right, high protein. So you play with that stuff, dairy. I cut out cheese. I cut out milk. I see how my body reacts. I'm like, and me personally, I like how my body reacts when I cut those things out. So I cut them out. You know what I'm saying? I'll have cheese every once in a while, here and there. But for the main part, my body is now used to not having cheese or dairy or whatever it might be for you, gluten. So for some people, right? But you gotta test these things out. Try eating gluten-free bread for a little bit if you're having digestion problems. Try cutting out dairy for a little bit, digestion problems. You cut that out to a little bit. I mean, at least 3 to 4 weeks, and then evaluate. If that didn't work, okay, retest. Maybe I try vegetarian. I cut out meat for a little bit. How does my body react? Do I like how it reacted? I don't. Retest. That's the best thing. Because all these diets out there, they work. Every single one works.
They do, but you got to find the one that works for you.
Exactly.
You know, and I feel like there's a lot of people overeating. Like they don't really realize how much like calories that they take in. Like one meal, honestly, could be your 2,000 plus calories for the day. Yes, it might look small, but like Starbucks alone, one sandwich could be 500 calories.
Yeah. Yep.
You know, so people don't realize that your calories will add up over time. So then you're wondering, no man, you know, like why can't I lose this weight? Or I'm in the gym. No, it's probably your diet. Maybe you're eating too much, even though you think that you're eating less.
Right. Right. And that's, I mean, yeah. And when you say eating too much, that doesn't even mean eating too much in terms of like quantity. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like you could have, like you said, Starbucks. Let's say you got the sandwich and you got the latte.
Mm-hmm.
Now you got 1,000 calories. That's not a lot of food though.
It's not.
You know what I'm saying? I could have Chipotle and have just as many calories, and that's a lot more food. You know what I'm saying? A lot more filling. So it's like, and I'm not saying I recommend Chipotle to eat all the time, but I eat Chipotle. You know what I'm saying? Like
that's like the healthier option, yeah.
Help. You know what I'm saying? Than a Starbucks or a McDonald's or one of these. But it's like the goal is to get more nutritious food. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't have to be less food or have to be more food necessarily. It's just more nutritious food. And once you start going that route, more natural food. That's what I'm a proponent of. More natural food, fasting. And I can talk about that a little bit too, because fasting is like huge for me. I've been doing that over the past 5 years, or since I started. It's 2021. Yeah, it's been like four years since I started like getting into this, and it's like, yeah, fasting is huge, bro. There's so many benefits. Mentally, you get real clear. Like your body has to get used to it at first. People might get headaches or whatever, but it's like that's just part of the curve. You know, learning how your body reacts. And you're basically, with fasting, you're essentially teaching your body how to build muscle and lose fat without a lot of food, right? Or without eating often, I should say, right? Because you probably still want to go for around the same amount of calories in that time period that you're eating, but at the same time, bro, it's not about the times you're eating. You can play with your hours of fasting, but it's like you want to learn how to control, and it goes into a lot of science about how your body reacts. Like it goes into like starvation mode. It's like, okay, it's called ketosis, where your body starts using fat as fuel as opposed to sugar and glycogen, which is in your blood from carbs, sweets, all these things. So if you deplete your body of that for 12 to 16 hours, right, or longer, your body starts basically going like, okay, so we got fat on us, let's use that and save the protein. Let's save our muscles, because either your body's going to use your muscles, the amino acids from your muscles to give yourself energy, or it's going to take the fat, right, or the glycogen. Glycogen is the first route. If you don't got glycogen, it's going to go, all right, let me go get the fat. You're out of fat, your body's going for the muscle.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's really just training your body. So that's why I'm huge on fasting. I recommend that to pretty much everybody to try it out. It's really not that hard. Once your body gets used to it, you're sleeping for 8 of the hours anyway. If you're getting good sleep, you stop eating at 10 p.m. You start eating at 2 p.m. next day. You know what I'm saying?
But do you think that people should be drinking water throughout that?
Oh yeah, chugging water. But you should be chugging water either way.
You're right though.
You know? So, yeah.
All right, and how important is it? I mean, like not only to you know like have a proper diet, I guess like that, but why do you think people don't take dieting seriously? Because I feel like people, they only do it like once it's like, all right, well now you have to do something about it. Like why do you think people wait till they're like way overweight to say, you know what, let me actually cut the calories? Because you know how many people, most people should weigh how they did in high school, believe it or not. Because like think about it, the people way before, 500 years ago, bro, they didn't have all this processed foods, and they didn't eat as much because you know like there wasn't a kitchen, there wasn't a grocery store, so you couldn't just pick up and eat whenever you want. You know what I mean? So why do you think people wait so long to actually get in shape, or why do you think people wait so long to eat right?
Yeah, bro. So I think that's part of that trauma that you were talking about earlier. Like, why does the girl wait till she gets broken up with her boyfriend to go get her boobs done, right? And then go get in the gym. Like, why does she need that change to go initiate another change, right? It's all mental, bro. It's like I needed that change. You know what I'm saying? Everyone needs that change, but at that point when it does change, when something changes for you, you gotta look back and be like, okay, how am I gonna go about this? Like what? So for me, I took it internally and looked at myself personally and self-reflected. You can go get a boob job though, or you can go get tatted up though. You know what I'm saying? Or go buy some Gucci shoes. Like You know what I'm saying? And feel better, feel way better after, because you like, or buy a chain and you're gonna be like, yo, the girl's gonna be like, yo, they feeling me now. Like, I don't matter how much in shape I'm in or how cute I'm looking. It's like, bro, I'm like, you get a little self-confidence boost. So like, for me, I was like, all right, I'm gonna change. I know that I can control this a little bit easier, my body. So let me start with this. And again, I said I started vain, where I just wanted to look good for the girls. But then I was like, I changed that from I don't care about looking good for the girls. I just want to be healthy. Bro. So using that as whatever that change or that event in your life is, bro. Some people need to wait till their mom dies for you to stop smoking cigarettes. You know what I'm saying? It's like, why'd you have to wait till then? I can't answer why they needed to wait till then, because that's a huge like change in your life. But it's like we were talking about before. It's like God's plan, bro. Like whatever God has ordained for you, that's for you. It's gonna fall out that way. You know what I'm saying? The cards are gonna play out that way. So, you just gotta look at that lesson like that and be like, okay, so I needed to wait till my girlfriend broke up with me to now get in shape. Why did God put that lesson in front of me? And then you gotta actually think about that lesson, because if you're just like, okay, God was giving me a lesson, and you just keep it moving, you don't even think about it, you're not gonna learn from the lesson. God's gonna keep throwing the same lesson at you, beating you with the lesson until you learn it.
But believe it or not, yes, God shows us lessons, but there's a lot of people that bring these lessons upon themselves. And not to change up like the whole subject, but there's a lot of people that they make certain mistakes, and they don't realize that there's a good and bad consequence for everything. You know what I mean? So whether or not like it's good or bad, there's going to be some type of end result. But I feel like this generation, they're so caught up in their head. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Prime example, like this whole Travis Scott concert. These celebrities do not care a dime about us. They're throwing up all these Baphomet symbols and all these other things, and people are like, oh well, like it's not necessarily Travis Scott's fault, da 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 da. Yes and no. You gotta hold everyone accountable. You know what I mean? But I feel like this generation is so caught up in their head, and we're worried about the wrong things. Like we're worried about social media, like impressing people, money, fame, you know what I mean? But what are you really inside? And I feel like people are too worried on the external things of life that are here today, gone tomorrow, instead of, maybe focusing on their health per se, or focusing on like the gym, stretching, whatever the case may be. But I just feel like this generation is so caught up in their head and worrying about the wrong things.
Yeah, bro. I mean, I would agree. At the same time, I would say I don't know if it's this generation or if it's humanity.
I would say that it's all like in general.
You know
of
what I'm
course.
saying? Even 500 years ago, maybe they were probably caught. There were people probably caught up on the wrong things. Wasn't focused on God. You know what I'm saying? It's probably been like that since the dawn of time. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's easy for us to look and be like now and be like, this generation's messed up. It's easy to say that. You know what I'm saying? Especially when it's like, oh, and then we could give a reason. All right, the previous generation, they had better people skills, and all. We can do that. But it's like the same people from before them was probably saying the same thing, bro. It's the same thing right before it. It's like, damn, now look what they're doing. Now look what people are doing. And it's like, as long as we all are trying to better ourselves for the better, like really, for real, trying to connect with God and trying to connect with, and even if you don't believe in God, bro, just trying to be literally better yourself to the highest level, you're gonna realize that you'll come to God if you're doing that. If you're trying to become the best version of yourself, you'll come to God. There's no way around it. But like just doing that and taking that initiative is gonna help everybody, the whole world, become a better place. Because we got too many people, like you said, that want to cast judgment on other people for what we're doing or for what they're doing. And it's like, God's the only judge in my eyes, so I'm not gonna go around judging people. I'll look. I mean, and you gotta make, you make little assumptions, and that's part of human nature, But it's like to actually cast judgment on others is so wrong in my eyes that we really could be helping them instead,
But people have to make righteous judgment, because you see, and that's the thing, is that there's a lot of people that say, oh well, you can't judge me, da 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 da. But people have to realize judging somebody is like, oh well, why do they have that backpack, or why does he look like that? That is judging people. But when you're legit telling somebody right from wrong, you know what I mean? And that's another thing, is that there's people nowadays, they don't know, like they don't want right from wrong. They just want everything to just go as it is. But the problem is that the world that we live in doesn't function that way. So if I go, hey man, listen, I see that, you know, you're kind of slacking, you're gaining hella weight, or you look really depressed, or you're drinking too much, or you're doing something that we all know that you're not supposed to be doing. That's not me judging you. You know what I mean? That, because like I said, just like how people say, oh, well, only God judges. Guess what? That same book says we need to judge righteously. Righteously. Okay? And yes, you know, you might not like to hear it, this generation too. A lot of like the prior generation before, they were blunt. That's why we didn't have some of the similar situations that we have now back then, because those past generations were very, very blunt. This generation kind of wants everything to be okay, and they want everything to be, you know what I mean? You know what I mean?
No, for sure. We're a lot more. Now I would definitely say we're a lot less open to hearing criticism than before. Because before, like you said, they were just blunt. They would just tell you what it was. Now people like to beat around the bush and try and go around these things, and that's detrimental to not only them but yourself. You know, because you're not confronting things that you got going on, and they not confronting things that they got going on, because we all faking it to each other. And it's like crazy, because it's like, yo, when you got someone that's telling it to you real, to keep that person around, bro. Like, that person is really there for you. That person cares about you.
Because what if that's stopping you from getting to the top? And that's what people don't realize, is that, listen, I'm not here to judge nobody. I just take care of myself and my family. That's it. I'm not bothering nobody. But if I see something that's wrong, I'm going to say it's wrong. And it's not because I want to be like in somebody's business, or I want to, you know, talk about people. But if I see you doing something that I know that you're not supposed to be doing, somebody should be, hey, like, listen, you got to correct this. Because what if that's stopping you from getting where you're supposed to be in life? For yourself, not for anyone else, but for you. You know?
Yeah, no, 100%, bro. 100%. I think everybody needs that correction, for real. And, you know, I think honestly a lot of how that goes is how it's like presented to people too, because that's, you know, it's all, because a lot of it's just perspective is reality, you know. So if I'm looking at it like a certain way, and you come and tell me like, yo, this is what it is and this is what it's not, like, you don't do it that way. And I'm coming at it from a certain perspective. You just gotta know know your crowd, know your audience, you know what I'm saying, and be able to be adaptable. Like I said before, be Bruce Lee, be like water, just be able to adapt to whoever you're speaking to and be like, yo, I know this is how it's gonna hit him so he can learn this lesson, or at least this is how I think best is gonna hit him to learn this lesson. Because telling, you know, a lot of people, if they don't got the mental maturity level yet, and you try to break it down to them how it is, it's like when we were younger and people were trying to really break it down to us how it was. You know, it's like it don't matter how much how much they explain it to you the right way. It's like that shit ain't make no sense.
Yeah. All right. So for the people who want to be personal trainers, what is your advice to them, and how can they build clients up when they're first starting?
Yeah, bro, that's a great question. I would just say, learn, like I was saying before, learn movement. Same thing with if you just want to start working out, just learn movement. But as a trainer, you want to learn the anatomy, and at the same time, you're learning movement. You know, and it's going to help you with your movement. I would recommend that for everybody though. Like, learn your anatomy. It's your body. Why not know it? You know, why not know how your body functions? How, like, that's, to me, that's like one of the best tools you can have. Knowledge of your body, like, for real, like, and know if I got some pain here, okay, what could be possibly causing that? Where's there a good chance of that's causing that? Okay, well, I know maybe it's here in my elbow. It's causing my wrist pain. But if you got to go to a doctor every single time, which establishments that are trying to make money on you every single time you have any type of injury, pain, or you just let it slide, it's just going to keep getting worse and worse. Or you're just going to be feeding out money to people that want you as a patient. They don't want you to get better, you know. So that's a huge thing, and that just brings me to my next point. If you want to be a trainer, bro, be people oriented. Like, be like, yo, you really want these people to succeed. If you don't want them to succeed, bro, you just want them to be your client because they'll pay you every month for 10 years, like I said before. Mm-hmm. That's not the reason to have a client or be a trainer. You're doing it for the money, bro. Like, you got to really be like, I'm gonna change your life. Like, and you have to, you know, show that to them and show them the value. Be like, yo, I really want to change your life, and this is how we're gonna change your life. You show people that you care, bro, and you actually care. People are gonna rock with you, and they're gonna the payment. You're not gonna have to worry about the money anyway. The money shouldn't even be on your mind at that point, because it's gonna be like, I got people that really rock with me, and they will vouch for me, and they will say, yo, like, this man really helped change my life. That's so much more important than having $10,000 in your bank account, or $1 million in your bank account, whatever you want to put, you know.
And then for people who want to build their social media for, like whatever business it may be, what are some things that you have implemented into your own social medias to help you build your platform?
Bro, so like, it all started from social media. That's really where my fitness journey began. Where I just started posting like my workouts, like me just working out before I was even certified to become a trainer. I started posting videos of me working out, pictures, me working out, and that's what it is to post. Like post if people, and especially as people are going to see your journey, you just want to be transparent too. Though if you portray this fake persona on social media, bro, you're not gonna be able to hold that up in real life, and it's gonna be taxing. You're gonna be like battling yourself. You're gonna be having two selves you got to deal with, and it's like, that's taxing. You don't want to do that. So be yourself on social media. Let people know what it is. Like let them know that you're transparent, and that people are gonna follow you. Now obviously boost your followers. I don't even have that many followers, so I'm not gonna sit here and act like I know how, but I know that you can post consistently, right? You can post quality content, shit or things that people are gonna actually resonate with. Things that are gonna help people. You can actually have real transformations, real results. Like people like that. They want to see that what you're doing can help. You don't want to just be posting stuff that's not relevant to the people. You want to get to know your audience. So those are some of the main things. And now more recently, what I've been doing is messing with some ads, learning how to get on Instagram with ads, paying for the ads, learning how to build a little audience.
Start networking,
Networking, of course, from the ground up. Most of my people that reached out to me at first were people from high school. Like when I was in Tampa, I came back and I already had people that wanted to train with me because they were just seeing it on social media. So it's like, bro, just be accessible, answer questions. Like people ask you questions, just answer questions. It's not that hard.
Yeah,
especially if you know your stuff. If you don't know your stuff, it's hard to tell someone if they ask you something, and you're like, it's hard to be like, nah, I don't really know that. I can refer you to them. It's hard for people to do that, especially starting up. So like but if you go around answering the questions like you really know everything's good, and then later you're gonna realize, damn, I was misleading a lot of people. Like that's really what it is. You just want to be transparent, answer questions, be there for the people. It's for the people anyway, right? It's money, bro. If you want the money, go get into crypto. I'll put you on big crypto, but don't get into the training industry. That's not what it's for.
Wow. Now, what are your short-term and your long-term goals, not only in life, but with your business?
I mean, they kind of go hand in hand for me, but for me, I really want to be, I want to have multiple businesses. I will have multiple businesses, and I want to, basically chase my passions in multiple directions. Like, fitness is one of my passions right now, but I'm not too, and I'll probably I know I'll be working out for the rest of my life, but I'll probably be a trainer for the next maybe 10 years. Who knows? 20. I might be a trainer for the rest of my life as well, online training or whatever. But I want to go into so many other ventures that it's like for example, now I'm messing with videography and photography, editing. Like that stuff is taxing, bro. You got to really learn a lot of stuff about that stuff to get it to the quality of people that are getting the recognition for it and getting the views, and like people are appreciating their art. It's just an art, you know what I'm saying? So I like to draw. I want to get into art with that, but my goal at this point is just to build the wealth for me, build the wealth so I can put my family on and put them in these positions so that once I put them in the positions, I place my chess pieces right with them, I don't got to worry about nothing else in terms of money. I just got to worry about, okay, now I can start from the ground up and really, if I want to, I can go back to school and learn how to draw from a school. You know what I'm saying? I go.
Now I can waste time.
I can go learn how to draw. I can learn how to do ceramics. Like whatever I want to do, I can learn how to go videography for real. Learn how to make movies. You know what I'm saying? Like I can learn chess for real. I can make a chess club. Like these are all things that I have in my mind that I really want to do. Make a book club and like build these networks of people, all these different companies. But they're just following me up with like my ladder of life. Like as I go through my timeline of life. So that's really my goal. Like build the wealth, put the family on, and go isolate for a little bit. Go learn some skills. Like go really dive. Because even now, like because we got all these social responsibilities, you can't really dive into a skill set. Or I mean, you can if you want to sacrifice in the social network, right? But once I take care of my social network, I can go dive off, go slide to Puerto Rico, slide to the mountains in freaking Tibet or something like that. You know what I'm saying? And grind for a little bit. Like really just learn how to read fast as hell. Like just want to learn how to read, bro. Like I want to learn how to like. Of course I can read, but I'm saying like fast. Like learn how to learn fast. Learn how to draw. Learn how to be okay with making mistakes. Like learn all the self lessons that is so hard to really focus on in this day-to-day life that I have going on. You know, because I'm working on these other goals. You know.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, because that's the thing. It's like there's so many people doing things that they really don't want to do, but they have to do them because how else are they gonna, survive in life?
Yeah.
But hey man, thank you so much for coming on. This is Mateo Knight, and once again, please, plug yourself, plug all your brands, plug your social media before we end.
For sure, bro. I first want to say thank you for having me. This is a pleasure. Like this is my first podcast, and I love it. Like your questions were great. The environment was great. I felt very comfortable here, so I appreciate you.
Thank you, sir.
I love what you're doing. Keep grinding. Like that's all it's about, inspiring others. Because even when I saw that you sent me your podcast and everything, I was like, this man's grinding. Like,
but this is not for me, bro. This is for people like you who are on their way up. I have a list of a lot of people because like people don't realize is that you guys have so much potential, bro. You guys are on your way up. You guys are young, doing your thing. This is a platform so that you guys can, kind of like expound on your brands, who you are. Because we can listen to all the famous podcasts. But once we turn off the TV, we can't relate to them.
Right.
But our personal trainers and the people that we grew up with and the people that are doing the same things that we're doing right now in life, who are actually like around us, those are the people that we can relate to. So thank you so much.
No, 100%, bro. 100%. I think bro. Keep doing it. Keep doing it. Bring everybody on, bro. Because you're putting it on people, bro. You're putting me on. Like I love being able to share information and share at least my story. What I think has helped me get to where I'm at, and hopefully help people that are trying to get to where I'm at. Because when I first started, just trying to better myself, bro, I watched a lot of podcasts, I watched a lot of YouTube, and I just hope to be that same inspiration for somebody else. So, like I said again, I appreciate you, bro. It's love since I ever seen you for the first time in school, bro. It's always been cool, been crazy, bro. So I appreciate you. I'm gonna say follow Mateo Knight Lifts on IG, MateoKnighthTS on IG. You can follow nightlifts.training on IG, same thing. And if you're ever looking for personal training, you're ever looking for mental development, if you're ever looking for somebody to just talk to, I'm really here for the people, and I love the people. So go ahead and reach out. Again, appreciate you, Martel, for having me on.
Absolutely, bro. Follow this man. He knows what he's talking about, and he is one of the authentic, actual movement / personal trainers out there. Please give him a chance. Please look into his work, and he's a great guy. Thank you so much, guys. Please like, follow, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. And once again, thank you for coming on the Real Issues Podcast. Thank you so much.